And there we have it. It is my abrupt ending. I really have to work on transitions. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I have my coffee here. I've got some supplies ready. I've got some Twitch open in the background that we're just going to mute here. My mouse is not wanting to work this morning. Give me one sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I just totally, for the first time, heard the Canadian sorry thing, how it's sorry. I hadn't heard that before. So in the background, you hear a crafty jellyfish. She's working on cosplay. If you enjoy sewing and engaging cute humor and cute personality, give her a follow. I will give her a shout out. Let me see though. I've closed her page now. Okay, you know what? I can't shout her out because I don't know. But I believe this is her. Okay, I didn't shout her out, but I've put her name there, copy pasted. She's got a little pink jellyfish as her icon in Twitch. Because I've closed it and because my computer is so slow to get anything started, I don't want to open it up again. Although, you know what? I say that. I should have it open anyways for when it's raid time. So let's do that and we'll give her a proper shout out. I'll just mute the sound because I seem to get left behind in my raids. I'm not quite sure how I should set it up. If I should have a page open or what, but anyways, we will learn all that as we go. And here we go. There we go. Okay, so let's give her a proper shout out. I have copy pasted her exact name, so this should be her. There we go. So give her a check out. I believe she streams every morning. I watch her many mornings before I go to work. Except Wednesdays, I always try to stream Wednesday mornings an hour earlier than this. So actually an hour and a half earlier than this. So Ship wakes me up at about 5:45. We have coffee together. He leaves work at about 6:15 our time. So that's EST. And then I come straight down here and stream for about an hour and a half before work. Wednesdays are good because Wednesdays are good for now. It's going to change once Easter comes. But in the morning on Wednesday mornings, the school that I have to go to, because I work at 3 different schools, so the school that I have to go to, um, I don't jump into the classroom right away. So it gives me time to, wake up a little bit and stream with people, and then head off to work and get some work done before I have to head off into the classroom. So it's a nice chill day for me at work. So I like to start my day with you guys. So we're going to start this morning we're going to attempt paper quilling. And so I took out some papers. I just chose some cardstock that I have, like a lot of the same color. That way I wasn't wasting any, or not wasting, but just I don't want to run out of a certain color I might want for a future project. So we're kind of limited in colors, but that's okay. I've taken out quite a few here. And we're going to cut up some strips. I'm really contemplating buying some strips for this project to make sure I have exactly the type of paper I need. But for practice, we're going to cut our own. And I do have a file on like an SVG file, which is cutting file. So an SVG file, what you do is you load it up into the program for your cutting machine, and then you send it off to your machine, and it will cut whatever it is that you have sent to it. So I do have an SVG file that will cut the strips perfectly. But right now we're remodeling Chip yesterday remodeled our computer room. It's done, but there's a lot of stuff that had to come out of there that isn't going back. So I've got it piled in my craft corner right now that I've got to go through it. So I figured what I would do is cut these myself, because right now my crafting machine or my cutting machine kind of has stuff piled in front of it to be able to make room for other stuff. So anyways, long story short, I figured we're going to just cut up a couple of strips for this, and we're going to practice together. I think I'm going to cut up, I don't know, maybe 10 of each. Not too many. We're not going to cut down the entire sheets of all, because it's just going to take forever. And what you can do is you can either use like my regular my cutter that I use, which is, I've got my big one over there, but I don't want to go get that. Oh, my little one's here. So I could use this. And you know what? Maybe let's give, oh no, I can't use this one because I want to cut my papers lengthwise. And this one doesn't do lengthwise. It's too small. And my big one that does do lengthwise just really frays the edges, so it's not going to look good. So you can either use one of these if you've got a really nice sharp blade that's going to cut properly. I do have a guillotine cutter also. It's large. It's probably about, I don't know, what's bigger than this pink mat here. It's quite big. I don't want to pull it out. And again, that one doesn't cut straight. It's an older one, and I think it needs realigning. So it always gives a little bit of an angle. And when you're working with, 3 millimeters, 5 millimeter strips, which would be like what, 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch, you don't want that slight angle because it's going to be way off. So the other option that I have is a roller cutter. So we're going to try the roller cutter. So basically what you do is, I'm going to start with pink because I think we're going to test with a few pink flowers. So I'm going to need pink, and I think I'm going to maybe we just got basic colors here. We'll do some blue flowers. Hello, Billiam. Good morning or good afternoon to you. We're going to need some white. And this is a bright yellow, but we're going to need some of that for sure. And of course, purple is my favorite, so we're going to do purple. Oh, and we need green. Goodness, we need all the colors. Good morning, good morning. So we are setting up to practice paper quilling. And we're just going to cut up some strips. And I think this is the pink I want rather than this one. We're going to cut up some strips. This is the first time I've cut them like this. Last time I cut them with my my slide cutter. You're hosting me, by the way. Thank you so much. Buttons are fun to push. They are. Yeah, we don't get the host alerts anymore, so thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I wish we would still get them because I've got the little thingy that pops out that says hosting. I've set that all up, and so I think I'm being really ambitious trying this. And I honestly think the more I'm contemplating this is going to be a practice run, because I've never, ever done this before. But it's going to be a practice run. And I think what I'm going to end up doing, probably especially after today's stream with how much trouble it's going to be, I think I'm going to order the paper quill, like the specifically designed for paper quilling paper, for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't know how thick this should be. So I think this is too thick. But the paper that I have is, I think is too thin. I don't think I have the in-between. Yes, extreme crafting. It is very high risk. Like, I could totally waste an entire sheet of paper. That's high stakes. So, but you know, you don't take the if you don't, oh, hold on, hold on. I thought I threw them out. Give me 1 second. I just spotted something. I just spotted something that would be perfect for practice. Oh, I wish I was taller. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I really genuinely, I looked for these this morning. I genuinely thought I threw them out. Okay, look at this. So these are strips I cut a year and a half ago. Oh, but I thought I threw them out because I couldn't store them properly. Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. This would be perfect for practice. I think we only have yellow left though. I think I threw out all the other colors because they just weren't, they were all together. I cut these at work on the really good cutter. And I had planned to cut up a bunch of them. And I did at one point, but I didn't store them properly and they all got damaged. Well, we're going to practice with yellow. Here's a thicker one. I don't know if that one was cut for paper quilling or if it's just a remnant. Well, this is yeah, they got damaged and curled up and so, but this is going to be perfect for practice. And then if I want to throw in some more colors, we will cut these up later. Oh, that saves a lot of time. Okay, so let's put these colors aside. I'll move this out of the way. So paper quilling, as I was saying, the thickness of it, like the pound, if you're in Canada or the US, we don't measure in pounds, but paper is in pounds. I don't know why. Or the GSM, GMS, what is it in Great Britain? Or and probably everywhere else in the world because it's grams per metric, grams per meter. GPS? GSM. Oh, it's grams per square meter. I looked it up. I looked it up to find out what GSM and why they say 60 pounds because I thought, how are they gauging that this paper is 60-pound paper? So yeah, so it's grams per square inch and then pounds per square, grams per square meter and pounds per square square pound. All right, so what have we got? What colors have we got here? We've got 2 red and the rest are yellow. And are this the same? No, the reds must be 5 mil and the yellows must be 3 mil. Let's measure these out. Where do I even have millimeters on this? I do, but they're really weird. No, I don't. I only have inches. So that is just over 1/2 inch. So that's the 5 mil. And these ones must be 1/4 inch. No, they're just over 1/8 of an inch. And this one is 1/4 inch. So the red is 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch is 5 mil. And then this is 1/8 of an inch, which is 3 mil. But there's another standard my copy shop printer uses, I think, as well. I think I used to buy by thickness. It's definitely changed over the years. It definitely wasn't always metric here. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't always metric, but paper is really confusing because I was looking up the proper paper to use for this. And a lot of them were saying to use print paper, not not writing paper, but print paper, which I assumed was like copy paper, like what we would use in the photocopier. But then the grams they gave didn't match the ones that you see on copy paper. And then I looked, and there is cardstock, bristleboard, copy paper, regular paper, all that, and they all have different GSMs. Like, it's crazy. So I don't know what I need. So for the simple reason that this one's a little bit wider. This one must be a larger one that I cut myself at home. So for the simple reason that, first of all, I don't know the weight of the paper that I need, or the card that I need, or the whatever we want to call this. The length of time it's going to take to cut all of these. And also, quilling paper is actually 21 inches long, which is what? 21 inches would be almost 2 feet, which would be, I don't know, 80 centimeters or so. I don't know. Something like that. I know a foot is 30 centimeters. So it'd be like 60 centimeters, just under 60 centimeters. So they're long. These are only 11 inches. So that's however many centimeters. I'm missing, like, I need 2 of these basically to make one quilling paper length, which isn't a big deal because you can just glue them together as you go. See, this one's cut really wonky, really thin at one end. So yeah, I'm going to buy them because I want this project to be perfect. But let's get started, okay? So, it never occurred to me that you'd need such long paper. Yeah. So for a quill, let me get my kit here. There are so many. I watched a lot of videos when I first got this 2 years ago because thought I really need to get into this. And then I bought it, and I could have bought a kit that came with paper, but I'm frugal. And I said, why should I buy the paper when I can just make my own strips, right? And look at me, I haven't done any of it because it's just so much prep work. So, these are some of the shapes that we could make. These are the basic shapes. And for my project, we're going to need to learn to make this, and possibly this. And we're going to need to make these, and then simple curls. And then depending on what kind of flowers we make, we might want to make these. Oh, I definitely have to learn how to make those for the butterflies. And there's also, so we're going to need to do these little curly things too. There's these, which are really, really cool. You do these with a comb. Crafters are supposed to be frugal. I know. We have to be frugal. They make their own gifts for people, right? We do. But I don't think we make them because we're frugal. We make them out of frugal, cheap stuff. We do. But we make them because if we make all of our stuff and keep them, we wouldn't be able to live anymore. I got to give it away because I've just got too much. You're here to learn about the curls. Well, I'm here to learn about the curls too. So we are in business and learning together. So first of all, we're not going to need this right now. This here is a crimping tool. You can take, let's grab a strip that's kind of like messed up that I won't use because I'm not ready for crimping yet. I'm not at that phase or that stage yet. I'm not that good. So the oh goodness. Good morning, Bowser. You startled me. Thank you so much for the resub. Oh, sorry. Good evening for you. You're in Australia. How are you? Good morning, good evening. Yes. Excuse me. We're trying paper quilling for the very first time. So we're just, I'm winging it. Okay, so there's little rollers in there. And I noticed that there's one, if I go down here, it's going to be tight crimping. And if I go up here, it's going to be looser crimping. So, and Billiam says, good morning or hello to Bowser. So good morning for me, good afternoon for Billiam, and good evening for Bowser. Yeah, so we're just testing out some of my supplies. I've never used this. So we're going to crimp this one. Oh, that's a really tight crimp. That could be interesting. I don't know if you guys can see it yet. I'll have to bring it up to the camera. There, so we've got a really nice tight crimp there. Add some texture. That's cute. Okay, now let's try the bigger crimping, which is up here. You grab it? Yeah. Oh, it went crooked. Okay, so I'm going to have to practice my crimping technique because it's going into the, there's a little groove down here. I don't know if you can see it if I'm pointing, but it got caught in there. It's almost exactly midday here. I'm in denial of the afternoon. Yeah. Well, we had our time change last weekend, so rather than being 6 hours difference with most of the UK that uh, I see on a regular basis, there's only 5 hours, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, so this is the larger crimp, but it skipped a section. When it jumped off the rail there, it just skipped an entire section. But that could add a lot of detail, interesting detail to a project for sure. I could even do these little crimping things to add trims on my cards. I wouldn't be able to crimp wider than, I guess, 1.5 centimeters or so. But yeah. All right. So that's what that tool does. We're not going to use that. So this is the comb that it comes with. And this makes where did those go? It's just a tiny little, these ones here. So this here, there we go. So for that third one there. Oh, this one. So it's called husking. Oh, no, husking is with pins. Sorry. Okay. This is the one, combing. Now, I don't think you guys are gonna, I can barely see the detail on that. But it looks a lot like the husking, but they're all close together and they're basically just loops. But it's like you make, you see here, like this one. See how it's a curl in a teardrop? Well, with the combing, it would be loops and loops and loops of teardrops, one inside the other, is basically how it would be. Yeah, loops. Is husking like, is that automatically husking means loops? Oh yeah, your husband's aunt did this? Oh, okay. I thought maybe there was a term like husking just automatically in the art world meant loops, so I thought I was being a newbie crafter, which is also my AKA. Yeah, so this does the loops. This does the combing, which is the loop inside a loop. Husking is with this. So this is just a little plate, and you've got pins. And then you set, depending on the pattern you want, you set your pins in here. And if you use the this rounded part, and I put a pin there and a pin there, and then one out and one out, one out, then I'll end up with these, flowered hoopy things. And then there's this side here that I think you can do like zigzaggies and stuff. I haven't really seen anyone work with this. So this may be something we need, but I don't think we're there yet. I'm going to put that aside and in the closer pile. These are to make, so you can make these little things here, or you can just make circles to go around things. You can also, I believe, make these because they've got the triangle shape, the square shape. But I think a lot of people that are really into the quilling and know what they're doing, they just make a regular curl like this and then they pinch to make a square and pinch to make a triangle. But I'm pretty sure these two specific ones are made with these. So we're probably going to need those, but not right now. This is to form little domes. So you would make a tight curl like this, and then you form it over the end to make it round. String art. Yes, 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 for this. That was a big thing when I was a kid. Everyone had string art on their wall. They would just punch a bunch of nails into a board and then do the string art. I don't have my sound alert set up, so boop. Sorry, Bowser. They didn't transfer over to this computer, and I tried setting up the link and it's just not working. So um I'll take a look at that at some point soon and get them transferred over, because now I figured out how I can make because Elric has come into my crafting stream and done creeper sounds and gas sounds. So is this ship's new setup with the 3 monitors? No, it is not. This is Supreme's laptop sitting on a plastic case setup. And the 3 monitors that Ship set up is not even Ship's setup. He did this for the kids. Like, the kids have a better setup than I do. So the kids have a 43-inch television monitor now for their main monitor, and 2 side small ones, so they can watch videos and play games and talk to I don't know why you need 3. I just don't get it. I only have 1. But Ship spent a lot of time just sitting in that chair looking at the 3 monitors last night. So yeah, so we're going to do combing, and then the other thing I've seen crafters do, so I went out and bought them, is you use actual combs for the different sizes. So at Christmas time, I went out and bought at the dollar store, $1.25. It was a bag of combs. The kids each got, there was a couple of fancy ones. So I gave those to the kids in their stockings. And then I took all of the other combs and threw them in here. So we're probably going to use this. So you can use this to get the larger loops, or you can use, I've seen them using these ones to get the tighter loops. So there we go. So repurposing things. This is, I need batteries, but this is an electric quiller. So you take this and you put this little tip on, and then you push the button and it'll spin it for you. Oops, sorry. It'll spin it for you instead of having to do it by hand. So you have 2 monitors and you want a third. I just love to have a second one for streaming purposes. Yeah, so if the batteries were in there, when I push this button, this would go and curl it all up for me nice and fast. So that is a tool that we're probably going to use. So put this aside, this aside, this aside. Actually, you know what? I think it'd be easier to take the ones we're not going to use and put them in a bag or something. So this is similar to this. This, I think, came with something else, and I threw it in here. But you need them to gauge your flowers, like your circles. So you make your loop, and then you put it in here and you let it open up to the size that you want before you shape them. And then these are different shapes you can, so that's to do that. And then you fold them, and then to make sure you've got the right size, like for instance, to make sure if I want this size teardrop, then I would measure them all out in here for gauging to make sure I've got all of my teardrops would be the same size. So I've got that. And then on the other side, you've got pins for when you want to pin things for like the husking and stuff like that. And then, and hair combs. How absurd. Oh, I know. I go through stuff, sometimes Ship will be like, okay, let's throw this out. Oh, no, I can use that as a tool in my craft room. And so this is to gauge your tight spirals. And this again is another Like if I want a 1mm curl, 13mm curl, or 16mm curl, I can put them in there. So that is basically the basics of paper quilling. And now I'm nervous as all get go. What have we got this? What's this? What can you do with these tools? Oh, never mind. I don't need to read this. I watched a YouTube video. I know everything. Plastic molding tubes. I can make dots, smooth lines, and clay. Oh, this isn't even the instructions for this. This is the instructions for my toolkit that includes all of these guys, which I don't use for modeling clay. I use for my paper. Painted nails. Yes, I painted them. I've been painting them lately, but they're chipping. This was caused by packing tape. The packing tape got stuck on my nails and ripped it off. And I had a casualty. I lost the tip of my nail. Yeah, so this goes with this kit. That doesn't even belong in there. All right. I think we are ready to get started. Oh, this is really important too. This is like the main thing that you need for paper quilling. It's just a little handle thing, which probably will end up hurting my fingers very soon. I may end up going with the electric one. I don't know, or getting a better. This is a really tiny handle, but at the end of this is actually a slit. And so what you do is you take your paper. Oh, this is definitely a glasses project. You take your paper. Oh, when pro quillers do this, they're so fast. I keep getting it in there, but I keep passing the edge and I don't want like a crimp at the end. And then you curl it. Make your little rolls. Oh, this is not easy. Going really wonky. Sorry if you can hear my dog. She's Ship went outside and she doesn't like it when he leaves her in the house alone, or without him rather. There, so we have a curl. And as I said, the paper quilling paper is longer than this normally. Oh, Sadie, no. And so I'm going to make room here. What we would do is we're going to put it in here and it's going to loosen up. And then, how do I get it out of there without it loosening up? Well, this is just crazy. Handle with metal stick thing. That's right. That is the technical word for this. It is a handle with a metal stick thing. Yeah, so you just thread it into the end there and then turn it. All right. So then we pop this out. Once it's at the required, this requires a lot of dexterity. Okay, this is not going to be loose enough. So let's go bigger. I mean, we're learning, right? So let's go bigger. This is not easy. I'm glad I'm doing practice before I start the real thing. And then we need our fine tip glue. Oh, I'm knocking stuff over. Fine tip glue bottle. And we're just going to put a little dab of glue here if my glue bottle will cooperate. No, it's plugged. There. And you just need like the slightest little amount of glue. And you hold that down for a sec. And then what they do in the videos is just like, oh, that glue I didn't put enough glue. Oh, I just didn't let it set long enough. I wonder if I glued it and then stuck it in the, no, it wouldn't open because it would be glued in place. And then they take this and let's make an eye shape. Ta-da! I did it! I did it! Look at that! Isn't that pretty? And then some people use like dual color, like they'll put a second color in there. So then the other thing you can do, I don't have any red this size. Darn, I wish I did. So then the other thing you can do too is make a border around this. We're experimenting. Once I figure out how to loosen up the curls here properly, I think that's the shaping of them is gonna be a second nature type of thing. It's the trying to look competent and trying to get my glue out. But the trying to look competent while I'm loosening up those curls there. Oh, my camera did this the other day too. Look, cork. Okay, what if I, here, focus on this. There we go. Now it's coming down. Look at that, look at that. There we go. Yeah, so it eye shape, but absolutely can use it for a petal or a little part in your in a butterfly, which is what we're going to make. We're going to make flowers. Oh, well, that's coming out now. We're going to make flowers and curlies and butterflies. So I could actually put that up. I've already got it set up, so it would just be a matter of putting it in the corner. So you do that. Now, of course, this strip would be the same width as, I may have to get new glue too. This doesn't dry very fast. Although it's amazing glue, it's not setting very well. And then you can wrap it and create a border around your shape. Oh, letterbys, yes. And then glue it. This is messy. I have glue on all my fingers. There, so there. Looks a little bit wonky because of the fact that the red is thicker than the yellow. But I lined it up at the top there. So there. That's one shape that we can make. I think that's success, sort of. Kind of. I mean, it's not as crisp as, oh, I threw out the, not that I threw out, but I put it away, the pamphlet with the different shapes. There. Okay, I'm going to put up, let me just, I believe this is the image. Yes, but we're going to make it smaller. We're going to edit that, make it smaller. Not too small, that's quite small, but there we go. And I'll stick it up in this corner. There. So to commemorate my 100 followers, let's make that a little bigger. I mean, we don't need to see that corner so much. Except my mug that says, "Don't make me use my teacher voice." Come on, move over for me. Thank you. That'll have to do. There. So to commemorate my first 100 followers and my first 10 subs, we're going to make something. We're going to take inspiration from this, and each piece is going to represent somebody. So I'm going to make 10 butterflies, and that'll be my very first 10 subs who have my first badges. And then the curls and the petals are going to be my subscribers, my very first 100 subscribers. And there's not enough there. I've counted out the curls and the leaves and everything. There's only 60. And there's no way I could add 40 more. It would just be too cluttered. So what we decided, my daughter and I were talking about it, and she had the idea of replacing a few of the curls with flowers. And in each flower is a minimum of 6 pieces, because we want, well, I mean, there might be some flowers that'll have 5, but um, essentially I'll either have flowers with 4 petals and a center, which would be the 5, or 5 petals and a center, which would be 6. So we can add quite a few more people in there. And I was contemplating taking a Sharpie. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I get overzealous sometimes, but actually writing the names. But like, do you see the width of these? Like, how on earth, even with a fine tip Sharpie, can I write people's names on that? So I don't know. Maybe I'll just name them as I'm placing them. I don't know. But so yeah, I want to make that, and then I'm going to frame it in a shadow box and keep it in my craft area to commemorate my humble beginnings. So yeah, I'm excited to get on that. Um, so that's why we're practicing, because I don't know, I think for a very first project, that is very, very ambitious, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll get onto it and it'll be like, oh, this isn't as ambitious as I thought, but I think it is, because other than the curls, I think the butterflies are going to be a little more complicated. So I know I need little pixies to come and write out the names for me. All right, so let's practice again. Let's try and make a teardrop. Okay, so if I keep my thumb here and curl, it's staying much more flat and I have a lot more control. Might have gone a little too tight. Okay, let's see it. Yeah, this. Let's go with the 13 mil. I'm thinking there must be an easier way to do this. Like, a lot of the people that I've watched are just so already knowledgeable that they just open it up in their fingers to the size they want and then fold. There's got to be an easier way to use this specific tool. So we're going to pop it out, holding at least the edge ones. Pop a little bit of glue down on there. I've got a huge chunk of glue from the end of my cap that got stuck on there. And again, I'll probably end up semi-relearning all of this, because if I buy the papers that are twice as long as this, my curls are going to be totally different. And then the texture of the weight of the paper too is probably different. Like I said, I feel like it's between this thickness and copy paper. Bowser says, I'm going to head off to bed, super tired, stayed up to watch some of the stream. Oh, thank you so much for staying up, Bowser. Have a good sleep. Rest up. And I may or may not later this afternoon. Oh, you're going to be sleeping though, Bowser. Um, Ship sometimes takes a nap around noon, 1 o'clock, my time. I may do Minecraft because I haven't done any Minecraft in a month. I haven't even played. So I might do a Minecraft stream if he takes a nap. Sleep is for the next 7 hours, yeah. And I would be doing my Minecraft stream again, would be 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1 in about 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours. So you may catch the end of my stream. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on First Craft, and I have to make 2 flower farms. So I have to make a flower farm on First Craft because I need a shop and we need dye on First Craft. And then I need to make a flower farm on Still Alive because we have the Nether Hub project and they need a bunch of dye. You haven't logged on for a while, flower farm will be good. Well, I did make one flower farm on First Craft. That was my very first stream. But I derped and I was nervous and I was chatting and I put it down in an area where my flower farm gives me 2 varieties of flowers only. I have orange tulips and white tulips, and that's it. So I need to go make one where I'm going to get a better variety of flowers. So I do have a flower forest. I'm in a flower forest. I bone mealed the ground. I chose my ground to have a large amount of different flowers. And then I got chatting and I turned around and started leveling off the ground to build my farm. And I didn't even build it in the first spot that I chose. I built it next to it. So, anyways, the whole other story. I noticed when I watched my VOD over again because when I made my farm and I only got 2, I went, see what happens? Like sometimes it's not the flowers you bone mealed in the first place once you dig down. But when I rewatched my VOD, I realized I was over probably about 10 or 20 blocks from where I first chose. So I need to correct that. All right, so I've got my curl. So good night, Bowser. If you're up when I'm streaming, if I do stream at all. But yeah. So we'll center off that curl, pinch up the top, and we have a little teardrop petal now. Oh, I am good at this. I'm really good at this. So what size did we make? Oh, that's quite tiny. So we made one of the 15 mil ones. Oh, it's a little off. It won't go in. I call that success, though. Like it's just a smidgen off. Okay, let's make a few of those. Isn't it beautiful? I think I did pretty good. This is my first one. Okay, so let's make a few of those and then let's make a flower. It'll be a yellow sunflower. Come on. There we go. There we go. So I think too, if I don't get faster at this, this is going to be a year-long project. Oh, what I could do, instead of having to write out the names, I could just say this little curl here, or this little, yeah, this center of the flower. No, this petal of the flower is Billiam. This center of or this petal here is so-and-so. This curl is so-and-so. If I name them as I'm doing it, and I do it in order, then, oh, I'm not supposed to glue yet. Okay. Maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe if I put the glue down first and drop it in here, by the time the glue has set a little bit, it'll be good to go. Hello, good morning, Cozy Witch. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. We are working on practicing quilling, paper quilling. This is my very first attempt at paper quilling. So I've made this shape. and I've wrapped it. Not too bad for my first attempt. The red paper actually was thicker than the yellow, but I wanted a different color. I've only got yellows cut out in this width. So I've got that shape. And I made a teardrop. So now we're going to make a bunch of teardrops and hopefully put them together and make my very first flower to try to test this out. So, but I've messed up already. I've put the glue on already. But I think it's going to work out. Yeah, look at that. So it's already glued when I take it out. You're doing good. Thank you. So glad I can catch one of your streams. I'm working on modding, but we'll be watching the process. Is it modding or yeah, modding. But we'll be watching the process. So satisfying. Well, thank you so much. The teardrops are super cute, aren't they? It's a very tiny teardrop. What I'm going to have to do too is decide the scale of my project too. So while you're kind of lurking and watching, you're actually going to be a part of the project that I'm making. I'm going to be commemorating my first 100 followers and my first 10 subs with that project up in the corner, putting my own twist on it. So you are going to be a piece of the project. This one didn't work out as well. It's not bad though. Oh, that's amazing how they're like, it just kind of fell into place. So is this one just slightly bigger than this as well? Did I do that well? This one's just a smidgen smaller. It goes in there almost. Well, I'm pretty thrilled with myself. Oh, you're a modder. Okay, so like real modding. You know what? I thought you can't just assume you mean modding with Twitch because I mod all as well. And I thought I can't just assume that's what she meant. So you're a moderator for another streamer. Aha. So just need to keep an eye on their chat and make sure everyone is behaving. Oh, I know that. I do the modding as well. I love modding. Actually, modding Minecraft is how I finally got into Minecraft. It's such a cute idea. Thank you, Cozy Witch. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I was trying to figure out a way to commemorate my very firsts, and then it came to me. I was actually watching uh oh no, now her name is, I can't remember her name. I was watching her and she was paper quilling. And so I thought, oh, yeah, that's how I can do it. But thank you so much for hanging out while you're modding. I've done that. Actually, last night I was doing that with Billiam. So, oh, sorry. I'm so new to this. I'm usually on the other end doing the things. So we have Billiam in the chat, who is a streamer. Give him a follow. He does digital art and makes cards for Dungeons and Dragons, if I'm understanding properly, because I don't know Dungeons and Dragons at all. And something about floor plans and stuff. I heard that yesterday on stream. And Cozy Witch streams, and she does paper felting. A paper felting. Felting. Taking like little shreds of wool that have been all broken up and turns them into 3D figures, and it's fascinating, and she just pins at the little fibers until they turn into art. It's amazing. I'm mesmerized, and chat is always chill and everyone's really encouraging and positive vibes, and so yeah, I'm just fascinated at how you take those threads and turn them into art. I'm going to make another one. Oh, oh, you are most welcome, Billiam. Thank you for the lurk, Billiam. Thank you for being here this morning. And I'll be here for a while practicing. So if you want to learn how to paper quill, I'm your girl. Come on back. All right, we're going to make a third one. I think we'll try to make this one with 5. I think the toughest part is really getting it out of here without unraveling it. Come on. My nails are getting in the way. And now it's really bothering me that I can't remember the entire name. I'm going to look it up right here, I believe. Well, let's scroll. It's Leah. I knew it was Leah, but I didn't want to say that until I knew for sure. But Leah has done, well, she did one paper quilling project. And she makes cards. Leah, no. But that's where I was inspired to do the paper quilling, was in Leah's stream. I've been finding a lot of paper crafters lately, which is really nice because um, I'm really enjoying watching the art community and the makers and crafters community and getting to know different people. And um, I mean, I'm there for the chat and the streamer themselves, and then I learn new things. And I'm really enjoying finding other paper crafters too, where we can, bounce ideas off of each other too. There aren't enough people in the makers and crafters. Like, everyone should be here. I know a lot of the makers and crafter type people tend to stream from YouTube, which I had contemplated. I didn't know which platform to use, but I was already pretty established on Twitch with the Minecraft community. I can talk. There, that one's a little different from the others, the way it's folded and stuff and curling, but knows this one seems thinner. Yeah, this one's crooked. So that's a defect. That one's crooked too, but not as bad. Just see if the okay, that end piece is at least the right width. But yeah, right after stream, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go out and I can't go out. I've already looked everywhere in town. But I'm gonna go onto Amazon and order myself some some papers, be able to do this project. And the nice thing about it is too, they have like the packs that I saw, they have 10. Yeah. Oh no, I guess 9. So they have, oh no, 10. So they've got like an ombre or gradient. I have dégradé in my head, which is French, but I have a hard time remembering gradient. They have a gradient of blues and then a gradient of reds and a gradient of all the colors and gradient from black to gray and whites and beiges and browns. And so I think that'll really help too, being able to add some dimension to the project too. And all the colors will work together. So I can have, 2 or 3 blues that are all working together because they're in the same gradient, to add depth to the petal or those wings of the butterflies. So I normally, I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I'm on holidays actually this morning, which I didn't say that at the beginning of the stream. On holidays this week, but normally Wednesday mornings, and it'll be like that till after Easter. I have a very chill morning at work, so I tend to stream before I go to work. So at about between 6:10 and 6:30 my time, Eastern time, I go live until I have to leave for work, and I usually stop stream about an hour and a half in. It's just a short little stream. I usually end up going longer. I end up doing a whole hour and a half because I have a hard time leaving. And then I get ready for work and head out to work. It's a nice, and I'm always really energized when I get to work. I'm all excited. So I'm going to keep that up. But this morning I woke up about an hour later than I usually do. And I told Ship, my husband, I said, I'm streaming this morning. I always stream Wednesday mornings. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, goodness, that startled me. Thank you so much for the follow, Lord Afloff. How are you? Welcome in. Do you do any crafting? Welcome in, my lord. Thank you so much for that follow. Those alerts are really startling me. You should see me when I'm playing Minecraft. Ship has set up creeper sounds and gas sounds, and I get startled on a regular basis. And then, of course, people do it even that more often. Because the sound alerts on my gaming computer do definitely work. So if you ever see me streaming Minecraft, if you want to give me a good startle and scare, they're free. You can. I'm hoping a Quiller will come in and give me some tips. Because I just keep getting my thumb caught in there. So we've got the 4. We'll put in the 5th one. I think I'm going to, I want to add a little bit of color to this. I don't want just yellow. So I'm going to cut up some more strips. And we're going to do the around it. I think we're going to do white. Make it like a semi-sunflower thing. And another little teardrop here. I think this one's bigger. It doesn't feel as tight as the other ones. I think I messed this one up. They're all quite similar. Okay, scooch this out of the way and grab the white. And we're going to have to do some cutting, which I was planning on doing right from the start, but then when I found, because I cut these up about 2 years ago and then never used them. So this morning I thought, okay, I have to cut some up. And then when I saw those, I thought, good, I don't have to. What is this piece from? Oh, I think it goes on here. Yes. No? Oh, yeah. Okay. Perfect. There we go. Glad I didn't lose that. All right, we're going to have to put these things away because I need to make room to be able to cut. I'll leave this close by because we are going to use it. But the rest can go. I'm not ready for husking yet. I may be before the end of the stream, but as of right now, I'm not. Okay, so on the videos I've watched, They have recommended. Now, do I have a mechanical pencil? Because I really like those. I do not. I don't even have a single pencil or pen in this thing. This is just craft supplies. Okay, I'll have to go to my desk to get a pen or a pencil. Just over here. I don't have a pencil there either. You know what happens is my kids come and borrow my stuff and then they don't put it back. I'm going to be needing a pencil. Okay, give me 1 sec. I know where to find one. Sorry about that. I forgot to mute and I'm back. I went upstairs to get my pencil and our dog had surgery a week ago tomorrow. And yeah, she's not getting any better. So she had a good day. She was getting better at first and now she's not. So when I went upstairs to get my pencil, Ship was just telling me that he called the vet and we'll be talking to the vet in about an hour and 15 minutes because he wasn't in yet. All right, so we're going to mark this off. I do know how to measure. It's just this light is actually blinding me. There's a shadow and I can't, on this metallic ruler, I can't really see where the lines are. Let's see if we move this light over. No, it's the minute I put my hand here, I can't see the lines anymore. All right, well, we're going to do some approximates here because the shadow is really tough. And we'll make 10 of them. This is just to guide, to line up, to be able to keep my cutting tool straight. If you could see me right now, I'm like moving my head around, bobbing around, trying to get in a angle where I'm not being stopped by that shadow. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, so we don't have to draw the lines all the way down, according to videos I've watched. All we have to do is, I've got a square here. is line up the got a square ruler, so I don't know if that's gonna help or hinder. Probably being way too difficult with this. I've seen them go fast, and I don't know if it's just because they're really good at it or if you don't have to be that precise. Well, that wasn't precise at all. I didn't even use the edge of the ruler to guide myself. Oh, and it moved. I will definitely be buying quilling paper because I am not doing this. Goodness, I'm not very good at it. Well, this is no fun. Okay, let's straighten this out. Wow, you've got to put a lot of pressure down on this. There we go. Straighten that out and start over. Give it another try. Oh, but that's the really thick one. I'm using the smaller ones. Oh well. Don't think I can measure out 1/8 of an inch, or 1/8 or 3mm strips. I mean, I can. I just, with that shadow, it would be near impossible. I'd have to have a better setup. Well, why isn't this cutting off? There we go. This is all for testing purposes anyways, so. How much easier is it going to be when I have the proper supplies? It's going to be so much easier. I'm going to enjoy it so much more, and I'm actually enjoying this even without the proper supplies. Yeah, this would take really long. Now, I did try this with an X-Acto knife, or cutting along a ruler with an X-Acto knife, and I feel I'm not as straight. This roller thing is actually working quite well. It's just I'm also at a bistro table, and I'm standing up, and I wonder if I had a regular height table and I was standing where I could put a little more pressure down on my hand and on the ruler, it would probably make my life a little easier. How many have I got here? I need at least 5. Oh, I've only got one more marked out, so let's get that one done. Then we'll move on. Get some more quilling done. Nope. Oh, goodness. Come on. There we go. Some of these have little frays that we're going to have to cut off. Okay. Well, I could dedicate an entire day to cutting. That's how long it would take to cut some nice little strips. Just take that off. All right, so these aren't the right width, but you know what, we're going to make it work because we're just testing. Put a little bit of glue down here. Line it up on the top edge. And wrap it around. This cardstock actually is thicker than the yellow that I'm using. I can feel it's not working the same way. But somebody was saying in one of their YouTube videos that they like using the cardstock that's a little bit thicker for this type of edging, like to make the border around the shape, because it holds better. Okay, so I wonder if I work on this table here. I want that yellow to be like flush with the top. No. Edging looks really easy. It's actually not that easy, unless it's because I'm not using the right stuff. You know, if it was the same size, maybe that would, same width, maybe that would make my life easier. Oh, I think that's another thing too they do. So I'm just wrapping, but I'm pretty sure they make sure to fold at the top to keep that nice teardrop shape. I didn't do it very tight. There we go. All right. This game is called Learn with Supreme. Hold that down. Like to crisp up that little tip at the end on the teardrop. I think my technique isn't giving us a nice little point. It's all good. We're going to make it work. Maybe I'm going at this all wrong. Maybe I shouldn't fight it and have the yellow be like further down. There. Because that's the way it wants to go anyways. When I do this, it kind of like falls down. So since there, give it 3D. A little bit of a 3D effect. Okay, let's try while I'm doing this one. I'm going to try to definitely make sure I fold when I get to the top. I don't know if maybe we're testing here. It would be better to kind of put some glue all the way around too. Okay, so we'll start at the top here. And even. We're just going to glue up all the way around to make sure we keep that nice and tight. There we go. All right. I'm turning it the opposite way of the way I turned for this one. Okay, so we're going to bend as we come around. Yeah, this would actually definitely be easier if they were the same width. Oh, I'm not even working on camera. There we go. Got that happening. Picked up that pin. There must be a better glue because this glue isn't setting as fast as I've seen other people's glues set. It's an amazing glue. I love it. But for this purpose, I don't know that it's... So that one... What edge did I glue that to? Nope. All right. Oh, this is going to be a cute flower. This one seems more the right width. Okay, so we're going to put glue mostly around. And fold. This could be quite relaxing once I get the hang of it. Just sit here and twiddle around with it. Your hands get really full of glue though. Then I'm noticing little pieces of glue on the project itself. So I started this one at a different spot from these ones, and I'm gluing down that last little piece in a totally different area. So I'm sure that's something you want to be conscious of too, I'm assuming. 3. We'll do this one. We'll start it in the same spot as we did for the others, which was along the edge there. Right at the top is where I started it. That way at least we can try to end at the same spot. And these ones end like on the inside of the petals. So I think that'll work out really well for when I piece it all together. There won't be too many uncut ends. Pinch it. Trying to wrap it a little tighter. Pinch it. I think today too, what I'll do, I've got some tidying up to do because as I was saying, we got new computer room set up. And so now I've got a lot of papers and books and things that I have to go through before I bring them back into the computer room. It's kind of a computer room / office for my work supplies and stuff. I'll definitely have to work on that today. But I may end up cutting up. I'm definitely going to order some paper quill, like some paper, quilling papers. But I think I might end up cutting up some more so I can keep practicing because it'll take a few days for the quilling paper to come in. And I would like to keep practicing this. And the edges on this aren't super nice and crisp, and I think it'll be worth the expense to buy the quilling paper. But for making tiny little practice projects, this is working out just fine. I have just a few days left to holidays. The week went by really quickly. It's already Wednesday. We're over halfway through the holidays. Oh, this works. This is a good technique. I can see how my fingers would get tired of after a little while of doing this, though. Like, I have the strongest fingers around. You use muscles in your fingers you didn't even know existed. Let's get that glued down. Okay, I have been streaming for 1 full month as affiliate, and a couple of days before that, and I just realized that on my screen, it tells me exactly how long I've been live for. I always said, I don't know how long I've been live for. I didn't know where to find that. I know there's a couple of ways that you can have it set up. You can either have it straight through your, if you use OBS, or through, I'm just using Twitch Studios. But then there's also, if you go through Twitch and you go on your creator dashboard and everything, it gives you more options there. But there's such a stream delay that it's tough to be able to keep up with what's going on when I'm trying to position things for you guys to see properly. So I don't use that. That's cute. I think we need a center. I'll just quill up a little center here. And I think I'm going to ink it. I'm going to change the color of the center a little bit because I'd like to get a little bit of a sunflowery look. We're going to mix up our mediums here. And glue that down. Oh, that's not tight enough. I think I want that tighter. This will be fine. Okay. I don't know that you can get any tighter because you've got the quilling tool that's got to come out of there, and it's in the center. We'll have to go on YouTube too to find some of the different flowers we can incorporate into this. All right, and I'm going to take my brown rich cocoa. I wonder if this side is flatter. I think this ink pad is dry. All my ink pads are drying up. And that's kind of looking textured like a... It's interesting. It'll do. Maybe we won't be mixing mediums. Get that off of there. All right, so we are ready to piece this all together. Now I'm wondering, like, are these too big? Have I gone too big to be able to... Looks like I need another one to make it a full, nice flower. I need like another 2. At least. Okay. Let's do this quickly. I'm getting better, so let's just get this done. No more messing around. Oh, that's what's happening. That's not a good thing to set it up in. Wondering why the tip of my glue is getting dirty. That's a new cup that I grabbed, and there's actually something in the bottom that I hadn't seen. Okay, where's my little guy? I need him because I've already glued this, and it's just going to be a center of a flower if I don't get it opened up. There he is. I think it's too late to open it up. Yeah, the glue is set. Okay. Okay, now we've got a flower centerpiece. Already done. Well, this is a different yellow, and it's a different feel of cardstock. Interesting. Yes, we're going to put the yellow in, drop it into this, open it up. Yeah, that is totally different. It's even like making edges and stuff. Yeah, I was doing them in here. No, that's actually thicker than the other ones, and it makes a really big difference in this hole. And it's, I mean, thicker than the other ones by next to nothing. Wow, so your width of or the gauge of your paper makes a huge difference. Like bigger than I thought. That's one of the thicker strips. Here we go. This is what we need. So I need 2 more of these. Ugh. Come on, Supreme. On the struggle bus. There we go. I've put a little dollop of glue on there. I'm going to let that sit while I curl the next one. I'll probably end up gluing it in there. I won't even be able to get it out. That would just be my luck. Oh, the glue didn't set. Okay, so we'll have to drop that back in there. Alrighty, so we're going to open this up. There we go. Wonder if it would be faster if I like curled a bunch of circles, popped them all down, then folded them into teardrops. You know, do them all in stages. But mind you, it's not that difficult because I've got to hold that glue. So popping it into a teardrop is actually, I mean, I'm already there holding the glue down, so not that big of a deal. Put this back in here. Loosen it up. Pop it out. Glue it down. Turn it into a teardrop. Oh yeah, I can get faster at this. For sure. For sure, for sure. Okay, now we're going to wrap them in the white. There, I've got this white. Then we're going to piece this flower together. Oh, that's right. I discovered that it's kind of good to put a little bit of glue all the way around. I've picked up something black on that one. All right, so wrap and fold. I watch videos of people doing this and they're so fast. It's just like boop, 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 done. And then a lot of times I'll watch crafting videos on like time to speed as well. So then they're really fast. And one last one. Got some more strips under here. Yeah, this one seems to be the thinnest. We've got our center. Oh, see, I messed up that one yellow when I was trying to just glue it. Watching on times 2 speed. You've never done that? I do that with crafting videos all the time. Like all the time. My daughter watches like television shows on times 2 speed on YouTube. You do it all the time too? Yeah, okay. You get to watch more and learn faster, and I've watched my, VODs on times too, and I think, "Oh my goodness, I sound just like, Gina K." And then I realize, "Oh, no, it's because I'm on times 2, and Gina K, when I watch her, is on times 2, so there's certain people I cannot watch on times 2, though, because they speak so quickly normally. They're looking great, by the way, thank you so much. I'm, getting better, I'm learning things as I'm going. I've learned that I'm definitely buying strips, um, because these strips that I've cut are not perfectly straight. Um, it's very time consuming. So I'll definitely buy, and then as I get better with the quilling, um, maybe I'll use it. And then I maybe I will cut my own strips. And the nice thing is too, if I do, I mean, with being able to cut your own strips, is if you have a specific color that you don't have in your kit, then you can still cut them yourself. So that's an option. So I kind of browned out the center here, but I don't think I like that. I have to watch myself on a faster speed because I get embarrassed of how slow I speak when I'm trying to work things out. Oh, you don't speak slowly though when you're working things out, but I know exactly what you mean. Um, like when I'm watching you, I hear hesitation once in a while, but it's not out of place, it's not uncomfortable, it's not I mean, I've just done it 3 times. I was trying to pay attention to if I do it, but you hesitate, and like I mean generally, I do when you're trying to gather thoughts, it's just kind of natural to hesitate. I do it all the time. And when you're live and when you're in person with someone and you're listening to them, it's totally different from when you're watching yourself back, first of all, or when you're watching them on a video too sometimes. It's not like in the moment, so it feels a little unnatural when it's in a video. But I've watched my videos and I've noticed I do it a lot and I don't feel uncomfortable. Don't feel uncomfortable. I know what was going through my mind at the time, and I know, yeah, we gotta gather our thoughts. We got a lot going on in that big brain of ours. Um, I sometimes rewatch myself on times 2, but I very rarely do. For the most part, I watch it on regular speed if I do rewatch. And I was rewatching them a lot at first, but not as much now. So I'm not sure. This coil is a little bigger than this one, and it's not as thick. Let's go with this thicker one. And I mean, clearly, the people that are making the videos for this have done it so often. They just like pop the glue down and boom, 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 and there you go. And I'm sitting here going, I don't think this is working. I think, I don't know. I think it looks cute. I rewatch partly for chat in case I've missed something. That's what I was doing at first, too. Definitely for chat. Actually, at first, I watched to see if I had any majorly cringy moments that I should be aware of. And I didn't. I'm fine. I think I'm an okay person. I make mistakes, but so does everybody else. So I'm okay with that. So we are going to attempt to glue this, and I don't know what strategy I should use to glue. Like, is there a strategy? Make sure they all fit properly. I think this is the hardest part, is the assembly. I don't have a big circle. Oh, I've got this. Is this big enough? Is this going to help me or hinder me? Oh, this helps. This is perfect. Oh, you know what I bet too? Bet you this is for this exact thing. I would put money on that. This is cool what you're doing here, says Billiam. It's kind of meditative from a viewer perspective. Oh, good. Well, thank you. I've gone to streams too that I feel the same way. It's like mesmerizing, you know? I get mesmerized by watching Cozy Witch with her needle felting. I really do. So I would bet this is, well, no, because I can't glue on that now. I can't glue down on the cork. But I can glue down on clear plastic. I have something. Right here. I've got these. So if I put that down on top, then I can glue. And I don't care if I get holes in that. I could just keep using the same one over and over again too. It's just an acetate sheet. And I'm, running low. I've only got probably about 80 sheets of it. So, I think that's perfect. I can even cut this down so that it's closer to the size. Let's just see if we can do it like this. Pin it in place. There we go. Sometimes I amaze myself. How about you pin them the wrong way around, then apply glue? I thought of that. Or attach paper to the cork. If I put paper down to the cork, though, when I glue the flowers, they're still going to glue to the paper, right? If I'm understanding what you're saying. But if I put this acetate here, then I don't care if I get glue on the acetate. Let's just start pinning them in place. Not sure where the best place to pin them is. Here maybe, so that they don't move. Need to pin this circle in place. Oh, you were saying two different things. Sometimes that's the biggest thing with streaming, right? Is the sometimes following chat. There's something hard back there. There. Now, I would really appreciate too if someone has ever done this to come in and say, "Oh, Supreme, Supreme, poor little Supreme. You're doing it the hard way." I would love that. Well, not that I would appreciate the fact that I'm doing it the hard way, but they could tell me the easier way. You know what I meant. Yeah, even this isn't like really helping because they're still moving. Just makes sense in my mind, but I don't think it actually makes sense at all. I'd have to pin the ends too. Ash Tree Lee, welcome in. Good morning. William says, I'm now assuming that before you start, you put your paper over the pin board, then pin them, then remove it. Oh, okay, yeah. Like when I'm pinning them onto my project itself. Good morning, Ash Tree, and you're here just in time to watch me try to figure out how to do this. As usual, I'm learning things on stream. Become a thing. So this was my first attempt at paper quilling. Yeah, I think you could definitely do that, Billiam. I've seen them do it where they assemble the flowers, though, and then glue those onto their project. So, I don't know. But they're better at this than I am because they're doing YouTubes about it. So, I don't know if they're doing it because they're experts or if that's the better way to do it. Just trying to... I'm happy to see you're still online. I had an early morning meeting and saw your post on Discord. Ah, well, I'm glad you were able to catch me. Did you have a good meeting? I trust not these sages experts. You must trust Supreme. So you got a new mattress, Ashtray. How did you sleep? How's it going? I think when I'm done this, I'm just going to stick a bunch of pearls on the flowers because it looks cute. Okay, so in theory here, I'm thinking if I pull this out, it at least gives me a good idea of where I want to glue it to. Put it there. And then we will pin it in place properly with 2 pins so that it doesn't move while it's drying. Trying really hard to get in that crack and not in, because I feel the resistance and I feel like I'm splitting the paper. Okay, so 1 is in place. 1 in place. 6 to go. Pin that down. Add another pin. Like, I don't think it should take 2 hours to make 1 flower, but meh. Okay, let's do this one next, because I think I'm going to have to turn my board to... Oh yeah, you should see people on YouTube gluing these up. Like, they literally just bloop, bloop, bloop. And that's not even on ×2 mode. This is the one I pinned or glued? Yeah. Let's pop that in there. Come on, get in there. Nope, I'm going into the paper and I'm going to have a hole in my flower. Wonder if you're just supposed to like pin around, you know, like I did with this. I have to watch more videos. Like, I got this set 2 years ago and I watched videos 2 years ago, but I haven't watched any since. Well, I watched one the other night. I lied. I watched one the other day so that I wouldn't look like a total buffoon for the first time here. And I did, when I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember. I remember now. Yeah, clearly I don't really remember. And I mean, you learn tips and tricks as you do it on your own too, right? You can watch tons of videos. They'll give you a baseline of what you should do or tips, but you tend to learn the strategies that work for you by actually doing it. So we're doing it. This is actually quite relaxing. It makes me want to collect bugs and dry them out and pin them on boards. Is that weird? Just made me think of that. How you would pin them down to a collection board there. And is it entomology? Studying birds? Birds. Bugs? I don't know if my stream has been kind of stuttering again. I keep seeing a flash out of the corner of my eye. Insects, NT. Yep. Okay. That's what I thought. I know a lot of big words, and I know what they mean when I hear them, but then when I try to use them, sometimes I forget what context. And then I feel like a goofball. One goes this way. Hello, Chris. Welcome in, Wildy. Why can I not say your name properly? I know what it should sound like. It sounds right in my head. Wildy Coyote, not Wildly. How are you? How are you today? What is this medium? This is called paper quilling. And so what we did is, give me a sec to pin this in place. I can give you a quick demonstration. Streamer brain makes words go missing, I think. It literally does. I've I've actually said stuff on stream, thinking I said it right, watched my VOD, and then realized, oh, that wasn't right. I'm in super focus mode. I sure am. I got one more of these to pin. And like I said, there's probably an easier way. And I don't know that I like that center. Like it just looks like a dirty piece of paper. But we've committed. I mean, it's all glued on there. I spent 5 hours gluing it together. So, you know. I will cry if this falls apart. Hopefully I get faster at this because if I'm making this for 100 followers, I'm going to be at 500 followers by the time I get this project completed because it's going to be going on for 5 years. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think that's, I don't know if I'll be able to have flowers that size, but there's 8 followers. Boom, just like that. So Chris, this is what paper quilling is. So we take paper, strips of paper. You count 7. Yeah, there's 7 petals, but the center of the flower counts as someone also. So there's 8 pieces to it, basically, is what, and then, I don't know, I don't like this space between, but I really don't think I could get another one in there. Maybe I have to do a smaller center. Or maybe, oh, maybe they, now I'm trying to remember, maybe they, like, glue all the tips together and then stick that centerpiece on top. Maybe that's what I did wrong. Just tell people to watch the VOD at times too. Yeah, it will only take you 2.5 years to watch the process instead of 5. Do yourself a favor. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so you take this paper and you put it in, there's a little slot at the end of this tool. The technical word for it that we've decided to use is handle with a metal stick on the end. Very technical. And then we just curl it like this. I don't think you did it wrong, but it takes the center out and glue it on top. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do for the next ones. And I think it'll make gluing them together better because they'll be gluing along the edges too, right? So that's what we will do. This is just practice. This isn't for the montage. It's all practice. So you do that. And then you take this little guy here and let's make a big one. So we put it in here. We let it open up. And then we pop it out. And you glue the edge here. Just a little dab of glue. A little dab of glue will do. And then you fold it. And then you pinch at the top. And that made my teardrops for the center of the flower. So this is a bigger circle. So the teardrop is a little more dainty, because it opened up more. And then I took white and I just wrapped around to make this effect. So, and when you, like, some of the things they do, some of the things, actually, let's do this. That's too wide. So sometimes too, what they do, like, there's so many different things that you can do. You take these strips, you just glue the tips together. Oh, we don't need glue on the white one. Turn that over. You glue these together. And you get, like, glue everywhere. I'm gonna need something to wipe that off. You will come take a week off. Will you come take a week off and come and scrapbook with me? I haven't scrapbooked in years. That would be fun. My aunt used to scrapbook, and she got me into it. And for a little while, but it was way back before, like, any kind of scrapbook supplies were out there. And what we used to do is we used to collect old magazines and go through the magazines and cut out sayings from the magazines and then glue them around and cut out pictures from cards and things like that. We had a huge, I just got, I just got rid of it a few years ago. Not like quite a few years ago, but not that many years ago. I had like a milk crate, like a big milk crate full of different remnants and scraps and things from it. So yeah, another thing you can do, and I'm not measuring, this is all like whatever, is you take this and then you glue these pieces together. And you can create like shapes like that. I totally did that wrong. I shouldn't have cut them. But they weren't opening up. But yeah, anyways, you make like little swooshes. I'm going to call them swooshes with the different colors, but okay, you offset them just a bit. I offset them too much. It swooshes like that. Okay, let's glue this together. Let's do it properly because I'm actually really intrigued to see how I can manage doing this. The glue, glue it together. I mean, I got to practice all these little things too, right? So I might as well. You still have 3 you need to finish. Oh my goodness. The Shutterfly books. Oh, is that the ones where they like open and close kind of thing? Oh no, Shutterfly is the that's the company, right? Where you send them the pictures and they just print them into a digital thing. I downloaded a bunch of digital papers and things like that to make a digital scrapbook, which I never ended up doing. And then you glue it. Glue these together. They're a little offset. And then you can make curls and things. I'll learn how to make these better. I'll watch a couple of tutorials. I don't know if you like curl them before you glue them or what the but yeah, you know, so you can put these curls in there. And where did I got new supplies, guys? Ship brought me shopping yesterday again. Where did I put the bag? I don't think I brought the bag down. I think it's upstairs. Hold on. There. So when we were out shopping, we went to Michael's as well. And I got some new supplies. So I got this, which is spray-on adhesive, which I really need. When I'm working with some of the intricate things, I want to be able to just spray it and glue it. So I got that. That's what I went in for. And then this is Pixie Spray. And it's an adhesive as well, but you can turn paper into like kind of like a Post-it note. So you just spray it on the paper and then you can glue it down, but it peels off really easy. It's just a light, like it's super ultra low tack glue. Repositionable, and you can just spray it on your stencils, glue it on your paper, and then peel it off and it doesn't damage your paper. So I needed that for masking for my moon because I cut it out of painter's tape, but if I want bigger maskings. And then I got these shimmer sprays. So yes, Pixie Spray, Nia. I got Pixie Spray and glitter spray, and they're not at all the same. Welcome in, Nia. How are you doing this morning? Or yeah, oh yeah, it's still, well, no, it's afternoon for you. It's almost noon, or it's 11. I had you at glitter, says Ash Tree. Yeah, so this is shimmery spray. And after making my pixie card or my fairy card, this one here, I'm reaching for it. I thought I need glitter. I need some shimmer. So Yeah, so these spray on, they're green, like a light green and then a darker green and a blue. And I got like a pearlescent and orange and pink. And they just add a little shimmer. So many pixies are squeezed in to make that one can. Exactly. There's tiny, tiny little pixies that just hold your artwork together. That's what it is. So shimmer spray adds shimmer. Pixie spray is actually a glue. So don't confuse the two. But yeah, the little pixies come out and they just hold your paper in place for a little while. But the nice thing is you can just you can remove it. Like I can glue something down on the white paper, and then when I'm done, I can peel it off to create like the mask or whatever, or my stencil. So I needed that, and I needed permanent glue. So, oh, I didn't read the bottle. Let's see. When it said workable fixative, I thought, oh, okay, so I can like glue it down and kind of, it's not going to glue in place like right away. I'll have time to maneuver it, like with white glue. Um, Crystal clear protective spray. Oh, so it's a top coat. It's not even glue. Man, now I got to go back to the store because this is what I went in there for in the first place. Anyways, so the other thing too that I got that I've been looking for is this. Now, anyone who paper crafts or any crafts or anything that is small. Nia, it's your first day of school today. Did you go yet? Are you done? How did it go? Or are you getting ready to go? So Nia is, oh my goodness, here I am. Okay, everyone, we've got new people. The class. It only lasted 30 minutes and you left. Oh, so how was it? How was school? It wasn't mandatory attendance. Okay. So how was it? So Nia is a good friend of mine who plays on First Craft with me. She does Minecraft. She has YouTube. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Nia. Happy birthday, Nia. Oh my goodness, all the things to remember about Nia today. Her first day of school, her birthday, she's going out for supper with her family. She's also streaming a big birthday party tonight on Minecraft, on First Craft, and we're all invited, and I'm going to be there. And she's lighting her base on fire, is what she's decided to do for her birthday. So instead of blowing out candles on a cake, she's just going to light the entire base on fire. Yeah, so Nia does Minecraft. Billiam does digital art. And check him out. And Ashtree does crocheting. She makes beautiful little Pokemon figures so far from what I've seen. So we've got a variety of people, and Wildy is mod for like every single like streamer out there. And for some pretty big names too. You're a top secret streamer. No room for people. Well, people enjoy your stream, Billiam. So I'm gonna send them over. Too bad. And Nia with the first craft and the ship and the Nia and the Burke, all the love. All the love emojis. My daughter's still working on mine. She's so busy. Okay, so back to this. I don't know what this is though. What is this? Like, why do I need this centerpiece? What is it? I don't know. But has anyone seen these? These are reverse tweezers. They are, that's not what they call them. They don't call them reverse tweezers, but there's something like that. When you squeeze, they open. And then when you let go, they stop. So like, and it's got a lot of pressure, which is super cool when you want to do something. You don't have to hold it tight. Like, look at that. It's amazing. And then, so now this is really thick, but this is another tool you can use for paper quilling. You use these tweezers and it just holds it. Like I'm not even holding it. It's amazing. I love it. I had a pair when I first started crafting 4 years ago, but they were from the dollar store and they didn't have very much, you know, hold to them. But look at that. So the paper is too thick for this, but you get the idea. You can make all kinds of little, like it kind of bent here instead of curling. That's why I need the quilling paper. I've decided 100% we need the proper paper for this. Wonder if I can round it off. Okay, these tweezers are amazing. I just rounded off that paper that was bent. Like, seriously, we all need these in our lives. Like to hold everything. I'm fixing it, pretty much, sort of. Better than it was. I'm literally not even putting pressure on any of this. And I'm guessing this part here, there's a plus and a minus. So I'm guessing that's, oh, okay, there's a screw here. So it's to adjust how much pressure is on there. But I want tons of pressure. Yes, I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I could totally sell stuff. It seems to be what I do all the time. Look at this and look at this. And if you order 2, you get 3. There. All right. So when I have the proper paper, that'll look good. But yeah, there's just so much you can do. If I glued that like offset. Anyways, I'll watch some more videos. I'll figure out more techniques I can share with you guys. And we will learn together. So I've seen people doing this where it's like they do unicorns. They take the papers and they've got like a whole rainbow that's just curled like this. Everyone needs this. But seriously, like am I lying to you? Do you not need this in your life? Like you could pick up like Billiam. Imagine fish and chips. Grab your chip. Like you don't even need to use the fork. It will just hold it for you. It's amazing. And when you're ready to just like release it, you just squeeze. And until you're like, look, I could sit here and hold this here and glue little thingies onto this and it's up in the air. Onia is totally going to buy herself some of these and on stream, she will eat stuff with this. I can see it now. And she will be like, look, I'm barely even holding it. And I can like just take a bite and it doesn't go anywhere. I could totally see. I can see Nia do that. Nia does like crazy stuff on her stream. Like Ship told her in another stream to drink hot sauce. And so that night at her own stream, she had hot sauce for him. Nia stacks hats on top of her head many, many, many hats at a time. What else has Nia done? Nia's very entertaining for her viewers. And on top of it, then she Minecrafts at the same time. And Nia writes poetry stories on stream. So yeah. And it's her birthday. So oh yeah, you drank, that's right. She she read the ingredients on maple syrup, which wasn't maple syrup, it was like table syrup, as if they were like a sorcery enchanting thing. And then drank some 0% maple syrup because it had 0% maple syrup in it. You're already following Nia's hosting you right now. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. Thank you so much for that follow. Nia, you got a new follower. Make room at your birthday party. We may end up having Billiam there. Nia's hosting me. Yes. Thank you for that, Nia, for the host. Um, we try to host our first crafters. We've got each other on auto host. So a lot of times I'm hosting my first craft people on my channel. And then whoever I've rated to. Like I can curl paper with these. I'm just absolutely loving these. Most adorable mod. Thank you. Oh, you know what's going to happen now, right? You just gave me a compliment. Setson is going to show up. Every time somebody says someone is their favorite or whatever or cute, or all of a sudden Setson comes in and says, "What about me?" Or it's just a thing. Maybe it wasn't too direct enough, because poor Alpin said that I was Bruno's favorite, or her favorite Bruno mod, and next thing you know, Setson came in and said, "Hey, what about me?" Oh, Setson is your favorite South American mod. Okay, so we all have our like niches. Got it. Got it. See, you're playing the game like my mom did. My mom has we are all her favorites for different reasons, which is smart. I hope you don't know anyone else in South America that you're going to mod, because you're just going to hurt their feelings. So let's unpin this. The glue should be dry. The moment we've all been waiting for, to see if I've actually got a flower here. So far, so good. Okay, the whole flower came up, like not just one piece, so that's got to be a good sign, right? I think that was a very nice save, William. Nia, you did a good save. Oh, look, it's all one piece. Yeah, I'm upset with that. So let's do this. There we go. We are going to glue that on top. It's a nice thing about crafting and art. You can always fix it if you don't like it. It won't be the same as, it might be very different. You can always find a fix for it. There we go. I was trying to go for like the dark center sunflower look, but... And there is our first flower, our little daisy. Many pieces, one flower. That's right. That is right. And I'm going to pick this up too. And I don't have any green cut, but I would put, oh, well, what about this? We like got all excited about having this. No, it's just not, no. It's too, the paper's too thick for that. So I don't want to, it's kinky and stuff, so we'll make a proper thing for that. What if I just do this though? Okay, what if we do this? Oh, no, I don't. Did I have two reds there? No, but that red cardstock is very, very thick. That's what's throwing the whole thing off. It's much thicker than the rest. We're going to snip this though because it's split. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. We're just going to curl these. And we'll add them. And then should this guy go this way? Why won't it get in there? Yeah, the white is thicker than the yellow as well. You love it, thank you. I love it too. Pretty good first attempt. Yeah, that white is very thick too. It didn't even curl, it like kinked. We'll open up these curls a bit. Open that up a little bit too much. I just wanted to loosen it, not unravel it. There we go. Then the old scissor curl paper trick for this one. I want to keep that curl at the end, but oh, we'll learn it. We'll learn. But essentially, there we go. We've got something along this line. Maybe we glue these two together. Let's see. Just a little bit of glue. Keep them together a little bit before they curl away from each other. Yeah, and this would, I mean, I've said it I don't know how many times, but it'll definitely look better with the proper paper. There. I will put that on a card. Good enough for a card. And you glue it down onto the paper. And look at this. I actually have this. Leah, yes, Quilling. This is my very first flower. Everyone, Leah inspired me to pull my quilling kit out. I shouted you out earlier today, and there you showed up. I was telling everybody earlier today that I went into your stream and you were doing paper quilling, and that's what made me decide to do this project. You wish you were that good? Yours is amazing. Thank you so much for the compliment. She made a beautiful, beautiful card with a letter, and it is all her fault. And actually, in her stream, when I went in a couple of days later to say you inspired me to pull out my quilling thing, there was a command that showed up that said Leah is responsible for, I don't remember what exactly the saying is, but yeah, has influenced someone else again or something along that line. So She has claimed responsibility for sure. So, yes, so I ended up cutting my own paper, and it's not super crisp, and I think the paper I have or the card I have or whatever I'm using is too thick. Um, so I mean, I think it's still a success, but I think I'm definitely going to be ordering the proper paper for it. You have enabled someone in the community against their will X number of times. See, there you go. That's the command that came up when I said I was doing this. So, Leah, would you like to know what you inspired me to do completely? Um, oh, she plays Witcher too. Nice. New follower. So, up in the top corner, you see the butterflies and the curly thingies and stuff. So I'm going to do that. But what it's going to be is it's going to be to commemorate my first 100 followers and my first 10 subs. So I'm going to make 10 butterflies that represent my first 10 subs. And then each curl, each leaf, each um, each other piece to the thing will represent one of my followers. So I counted them out, the curls and the leaves. There's only about 60 of them. And there's no way I can add 40 more. It would just be too cluttered. So my daughter and I were chatting, and we decided that every couple of curls, I'll replace it with a flower. And so I can get, depending on what kind of flower I make, I can get anywhere from 5 to 8 followers in one flower. So, because each one could be a petal or a center of the flower. So that's why I'm practicing. So I had been trying to figure out how I could thank my community, my first 100 followers and my 10 subs. And I was trying to think of something creative. And then I went into your stream and I saw the paper quilling, and I was like, oh, I really want to do paper quilling. I bought the kit. I never tried it. I need to try it. And then like the next day I was looking for ideas, and all of a sudden I said, Supreme, what about paper quilling? And so you're a part of it, and you're going to be a piece of my project as well, because you are one of my 100 followers. I believe you are number 100, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure you ended up claiming the 100th spot. So I'm really excited to get that done. So for probably next stream, I'll probably practice a little bit more. Um, try some different shapes and maybe try some different flowers, and maybe work on, a couple of butterfly uh, wings, just to get to know, because I haven't used, I mean, I used the, just the teardrop shape. I haven't used the comb yet. I haven't used the husking. I haven't used all of those different things. I've been live for 2.5 hours. This is what I got in 2.5 hours. Oh, and this. And now everyone in my stream will be going out and purchasing these because I went on and on about these. Do you have these, Leah? Reverse tweezers? Because if you don't, you need these in your life. And if you do, your brain can't use them? Oh my goodness, my brain can't get enough of them. Like, it's so, but not just for quilling though. Like, I mean, now I'm holding it, and I can like hold it and then put little glue and rhinestone this up, and I'm not even like, I could put this in a cup and it's still holding it. Like, these are amazing. You get so confused opening and closing them. You keep getting them wrong way. Yeah, you need to practice for sure, but I just trained my brain to, okay, I want to pick that up, and then I don't touch it again. And then I just, yeah. So what I needed these for actually is for when I layer up these things here. It was such a pain to do it without. Oh, see, okay, so I took this box out for a reason. So look at this. If I put this with this for now, and I said, you know, I could put it on a card, I've got a stamp that's like very similar that I could put in the same color and add to it. Or I could make flowers like that. But I have a thinking of you that I could put. So this is my box of already started little doodads. This is my one stream that I stamped out stuff and I never ended up coloring my butterflies like I said I was going to do. So I do have to color those. I'm going to have a catch-up day. So catch-up day is going to be where I catch up on things, but I'm going to call it catch-up. So, but I came in here for, oh, they're not even in this box. They're in my other one. So this is my unfinished projects or shape cutting things. They're in this one. Come on. So I want to take, I do have a fancy box of abandonment. Everyone needs a fancy box of abandonment. There's another one. And these are, okay, so these are words. But this one here, the happy birthday, I glued that without Pixie Spray. Or sorry, without this. I literally took dabs of glue and glued it all around and then layered them up without these. Like just with my fingers. There's 3 of them there. So what I need this for is so I can do this and I can then spray my other one that I have. See, you spray psh, psh, like that, and then you take this and you just put it down on top and then you release it and then boom, it's layered. It's that fast. This one wasn't that fast. So I've got a bunch of these cut out that I need to layer up. Like happy birthday here. So I want to layer that up on top of some other ones to make it thicker. All right, so that was the main reason why I bought these. And then, but in my box of abandonment, I have something special. And if my mom is watching right now, look away. And if you're watching my VOD, close your eyes and I'll tell you when you can open them again. So when my grandmother passed away, I got a lot of her supplies. And while I was looking through her supplies a while back, I found, and I've already told my mom that I found this. She just doesn't know what it looks like. I found this baggie. And in this baggie is 4 cards. I actually won't show the pieces. But there are 4, oh, don't lose that. 4 card bases, 4 panels, 4 cutouts, and decorative pieces, all in this bag in different colors, all similar, but different colors and a little bit of a different style. And she has 4 kids. And I'm wondering if these 4 cards were prepped and ready to go for each one of the kids. So I want to put them together for her and give them to my aunts and uncles so that, because I think that's who she had in mind when she put this little bag together. So I'm going to be doing that. And I can't do it on stream because my mom watches. So Mom, you can look again. It's all put away. I had told you that I found that bag to begin with, but yeah, so that'll be something special that I'm looking forward to making too. So there we go. Put that away. And I've been live for almost 3 hours already. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. So it takes 3 hours for me to put together you covered the screen with your hand. Hello, Mama Supreme. I knew you were here. Everyone, this is my mummy. When did you get here, Mom? Yes, my mom, I have learned, has come to many of my streams, but says nothing, and I don't know she's there. So I told her that I would spend one stream just saying, "Hey, Mama, are you there? Are you here now? What about now? Are you here now?" I did, you know what? You're right. I went through all the tools of the quilling. I did the tutorial, the whole bit. You're right. Thank you for making me feel better, Billiam. I didn't spend almost 3 hours making one flower. Just the start of looking at your abandonment box. Oh, okay. So just the one little part that I actually didn't want you to see is where you came in. uh, well, so I made a flower. Did you see that? I did my quilling. So I showed everyone the different tools and what they do and different things I can do with them and stuff. And then I made a flower. Oh, you saw it already made. Perfect. So I'm going to clean this all up and we are going to take a look at who's live this morning. Thank you very much. You have to say it's beautiful because you're my mama, but I also know you wouldn't say anything if you didn't like it. Thank you, Mom. Now I'm getting tired and being silly now. I'm going to start saying silly things. And then, you know how we talked about how I haven't had really cringe moments while I'm streaming? I'm going to start having them. So who have we got? Does anyone have any recommendations for, what? Hold on. Let me see something here. My computer's really slow, but I need to check this out. I absolutely need to check this out. If it would just load. Because there is someone streaming, making, and crafting that I didn't know did crafts. Mom says, I'm impressed on how clean up between each action. Yeah, well, I kind of have to. My spot is so limited, but if you saw like around this here, I mean, cleaning up just means taking it and moving it out of camera shot, to be honest. I don't mean to like burst your bubble, Mama, but no, you know what? That box that I just took out, the 3 boxes, I put them back on the shelf. I really did. And my quilling things, I put them away. So I did do that. But yeah, look at this. Like there's other stuff outside of camera shot that's just sitting there. So, you know. But I'm trying my best. I don't want to take the time for you guys. Like I don't want you guys to be sitting there listening to me cleaning up either. Although um I've heard that some people actually enjoy watching organization streams. So you are very impressed. Well, thank you, Mama. Okay, what is this person doing? Really? Okay. Okay. So we are going to we're going to go raid someone who I know through Minecraft. But they're not doing Minecraft right now. They're doing journaling and they're drawing and they're actually really really busy. not busy. They're really big. They're like a huge YouTuber Minecraft person. They from Hermitcraft. Zombie Cleo is actually journaling. And so I'm gonna go check her out because I've watched her do Minecraft. I'd like to see her crafting. So you're going to the gym soon, so you do have to get ready. All right, enjoy the gym, make it burn, mom. Work hard. Yeah, so we're gonna go raid Zombie Cleo. Thank you so much for being here, Leah. I'm just really um where is she? Where am I? I'm really happy to have all of you here this morning. Um I do try to normally stream once very early. I start at 6:30. I started late this morning because I'm on holidays, but I try to get a stream in. So I would start 4 hours ago, and then stream for only an hour and a half because I stream before work. And I try to do those on Wednesday morning. So I wanted to try to keep it up even though I wasn't I'm on holidays and didn't have to be up and moving for work because I know there are quite a few people that come in. No, you know what? We're not going to raid Zombie Cleo. We're not. No, no, no. Never mind. I've changed my mind. We are going to go to someone smaller. We are going to go here. Zombie Cleo doesn't need me. Um, but has anyone ever watched yeah, let's go to modeling clay here. Has anyone ever watched Vixen X69? Um Thank you for being here, Billiam. Thank you, Cozy Witch. Thank you so much, all of you guys, for being here. Did you troublemaker? Okay, so that's where we're gonna go. Perfect. Um, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I was a little excited to see someone, um, like somebody that I've watched on a different platform doing what I do, but she doesn't need me. We need to, yeah, we're going to Vixen. Control copy. Oh, if you said she's right troublemaker, then that means I took it as she's really good and we need to go there. So we are going there. We are going to Vixen X69. Thank you for being here, Chris. Um, thanks so much. Guys, I really appreciate all of you and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the new follow, Lord Afloff. Thank you for the resub, Bowser. Thank you for I got some follows off stream. Chard Bean, Steffi Ann. Those are the ones I got off stream. So thank you so much. Lord Afloff is a buddy of mine. Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much for your community's been great, Cozy. We have time. Let's get another shout out for my streamer people that are here. So we've got Cozy who does needle felting. We've got Leah who does cards like I do. We've got Billiam. Oh, come on, quick, Supreme. Not, I can't type under pressure. Billiam, who does digital art. And we are going to, I'm just going to do the shout out here. Vixen X69. Did I get it?
guys. Oh, thanks. Welcome, everybody. I'm making tiny ass flowers. Really annoying, and you can't see what I'm doing. I'm really sorry. Hey, cool. Oh, thanks, Babel. Glitter. Second person to say that, Stu. Gonna make a mess. Dude, I make my own mess. They've seen my work. Actually, I'm working on a grassland dragon. So I'm gonna make tiny ass flowers that you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm a little closer to. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's like sand. So I'm doing a series of biome dragons. Anyone that doesn't know, it started off with this randomly made forest dragon. I was like, I don't want to turn this into. So we asked chat and decided to go biome dragon. It doesn't have a particular biome other than forest dragon, but went on. The next dragon I'm gonna make, I don't know. Well, there's a dragon. Dragon is